Hi everyone, it's Linnea from sparklycreations.blogspot.com. Today I'm going to be creating a card for my friend who just had a baby boy a week ago. So I wanted to give her like a congratulatory card. I'm going to be using this stamp set from the Studio Calico Poet Society card kit. It's the September card kit. I'm going to be using this big hooray sentiment, and then I'm going to kind of build a little side sentiment around it. So I've already cut and folded a card to a standard A2 card size base. I have a strip of white cardstock. It's probably like maybe 1.5 to 2 inches wide by the 8.5 long. Then I have a couple of the pattern papers from the kit. I'm going to set those all to the side for now. I'm going to be doing my stamping on this white piece here. And I already have the big hooray sentiment on my Fiskars stamp press. I have some Studio Calico inks, and I have swatches of all my inks, so I've kind of put them in order from darkest to lightest for an ombre effect. I'm going to be starting with the Emerald City, moving on to the Yes Peas, the Limelight, Going Green, Mint Hint, and Glass Slipper. I know there's been many other people to do this technique. Jennifer McGuire has done it, I know, and so she has a video on her YouTube channel. If you want to see more, head over there. But I'm just going to start with the Emerald City. I'm going to ink up just the H and then just a little bit of the O so that the inks will blend together a little bit better. I'm going to take a clean paper towel and just spritz it with a bit of water. That way I can come right onto my stamp and just dab away some of that ink, and that way it'll give a blended look rather than hard lines. Okay, so I'm just going to take that and I'm going to stamp it down on my paper. I'm just lining the grid lines up with the very corner. Oh, I should probably move that up though. Alright, so I'll give that a good press. And then there you see the H is stamped and then just a little bit of the O. Okay, next I have some painter's tape. And this is just regular basic painter's tape. It's nothing special. I'm just going to tear off a little piece and I will use it to mask off the H. My next color is the Yes Peas, so I'm just going to go ahead and ink up the O, and then again just going over a little bit onto the next letter, which is also another O. You always want to make sure that you take away that tape before you actually go to stamp, because otherwise you'll get just big globs of ink everywhere. So once again, I'm using a paper towel, going over to kind of blend that ink out a little bit. And then I'm just going to go right over top. And it's a clear stamp, so you can line everything right up. I'll give it a good press. And that is that. I'm going to reapply that same mask. And I'll move on to my next color, which is Limelight. And once you get the hang of this, it really doesn't take too long. It's just figuring out what colors you want to do where. I wanted to kind of go from the dark to the light color, and I'm going to end up in like a minty color. That was what took me the longest, was figuring out what colors I want to do where. I don't know if I said that last color was Going Green. I'm moving on to Mint Hint. And then I'm not even going to bother using my mask for the last color, which is one of their new ones, Glass Slipper. I'm just going to come in and ink up just the Y. So now I'm just going to add some more sayings around it. I want to do congratulations on your new addition. So I think that I will do them I'll do them in the Emerald City. That's my darker green color. I'm just going to pull out a smaller size stamp block. Alright, so we'll get that inked up. And I think I'll do an ombre effect with the words as well. So I think I'll move on to my Yes Please ink color. And I'm just going to stamp that right below. Alright, and then up next I'm going to use the Lime Light, which is a new color as well. And I'm going to stamp New Edition. Okay, so now I'm going to trim this down a little bit, and I'm going to do a little bit of weird trimming because I'm kind of going to fussy cut around the H, the top of the H and the bottom of the Y. So I cut from the very end, and I cut up to across the top of the congratulations, and I left just a little bit of space before that H. Then I'm going to flip my paper around, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut right below New Edition and leave a little bit of space, and then I'm going to cut again after the Y. So basically I'm just skipping the Y, and then I'm picking my paper trimmer up and I'll start again. And then I'm going to do the same thing again on the other side of the H. Okay, so now I'm just going to grab my Cutter Bee scissors, and I'm going to cut away these excess flaps here because I don't need them, and they're just going to end up getting in my way while I'm doing my fussy cutting. Alright, so I'm going to start here with the H. I'm just going to come in from the cut that I made, and then I'm just going to continue cutting around the top of the H, and I am leaving a little bit of a white border. And then I'm just going to cut straight across, and I'll meet up with my previous cut there. I'll do the same thing with the Y. I'm just going to come down around, leaving a little bit of a white space. And I cut my Y close to the bottom here, so that's okay. Okay. And then I'm going to cut straight across, and I'll meet up with my other cut line there. So there you can see I have like the Y hanging down a little bit, and the top of the H is hanging off the top a little bit. Next up, I'm going to trim down this paper. It's already cut to 4 inches tall, which is okay because I'm going to layer some other papers across here. I just want to cut off a half of an inch over here so that it'll be 5.5 inches wide. So I'm just going to really quick grab my trimmer, and I'll slice off a 1/2 inch. And then I'm going to do some creative cutting with this paper here. I already have one piece trimmed because I did it with a previous project. I'm going to just cut around the diamond shapes, and then I'll layer that right on top of here. And that is why I cut the H and the Y, because they're going to nestle right up into the diamond shapes that I cut. Okay, so now I think I'm just going to start assembling everything. Actually, before we get started, I want to cut a V in this side here. So I'm just going to cut up the middle just a little bit with my scissors, and then I cut in from each corner to create a banner end. And it's easier for me on this other one to flip my paper over. So there we go. That's just a quick and easy little way to make a banner end for your paper. And now I know that is the right height, I do believe. So this one I'm just going to glue down really quick. I'm just going to use my Scotch ATG runner. And I'm not going to be able to get down into those corners very easily. So I'm going to use my Martha Stewart fine tip glue pen. And I'm just going to put down some dots of glue down on the corners there. That way my paper will be secured. Okay, so I'm just going to glue that down straight across the top. I have a roll of foam tape I'm going to use because that won't give me as much dimension as my pop dots would use, because I don't want it to be really high up off the card. And then that is pretty much it. We're just going to adhere this down onto the card base. So that is it for today's card. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry if I'm a bit discombobulated. I don't know what's wrong with me today. But if you like this card, please remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel and like this video. If you're looking for more card inspiration, go ahead and head over to my blog. I post cards there quite frequently. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.